Hey y'all, Kevin here, and this is Pure Reviews. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest content, and if you find this particular video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, maybe share with a friend, or even leave a comment. All those really do help out the channel. So today's product I want to share with you is the Litter-Robot 3 Connect series. I picked this up after actually a lot of my YouTube commenters. A lot of them I did about I think a little over a year ago, a kind of a top 5 litter box review of kind of my journey on what device I should get for my cat. And overwhelmingly, I got a lot of comments mentioning how happy people are with the Litter-Robot. So I said, you know what, let's go ahead and put it to the test. So I went ahead and bought one, and I've been using it for the last several months and wanted to kind of share my experiences with you guys, kind of go over what I like and what I don't like about it, and hopefully that'll help make a decision for you if you're looking to spend the money for an automatic litter box, because it is an investment, but it does save you some time if you have the funds to do it. So right off the bat, everything it comes in a very big box, everything was very well packaged, it's all made in the US. This is the device once it's all put together. Putting it together was super easy. It comes with plenty of kind of pamphlets telling you all the other things that Litter-Robot sells, unpacking instructions, kind of quick guide if you're having any errors, how to connect to the app, an instruction manual, and a little quick start. So you've got plenty of content to figure out how to set it all up and get going. But as you can see, the device is kind of large. So it does take up a lot of space. Now, Litter-Robot does actually sell furniture that will hide this in if you are going to have this in your living room like we do. Now, I haven't bought any of the furniture, but that is an option because it does kind of stand out. Now, what makes this device more unique is its kind of round drum shape, and we'll go into those details here shortly. But overall, besides the size, it's been functioning pretty great. So let's kind of go into how it works. First off, inside the big drum here, now I have a pretty large cat, so he fits very comfortable in here. Usually his face is kind of sticking right here at the front, but it's got nice height to it, which I was kind of glad to see. The inside is actually a little bit smaller than I anticipated it, because everybody kept saying it's massive for their cats. But I would say it's comfortable for them. Now there are sensors in here, so it'll keep, in case the cat tries to go in when it's cycling through and all that. So there are safety features built in. If you have a kitten, you may want to wait on activating this or hold off until they're a little bit older, maybe about a 1 year old. So that way it can, notice all the sensors are triggered. Now, what makes this unique with cleaning versus a lot of the other litter boxes, so a lot of the other litter boxes is kind of a raking method. And the biggest complaint with the raking method is the rakes get clogged with the waste. Well, this rotates, and we'll kind of show you a video of it rotating around, and it takes all the loose litter and kind of stores it under a rubber bladder. And then the waste goes into a drawer, which goes down into here, and then it rotates back and puts all the litter. So you have always fresh, clean litter. And one of the things we have found is you can go a lot longer between litter dumps. So, we'll go probably about a couple months before we have to dump all the litter and start with fresh. Now, that was not something with my other automatic litter boxes. Pretty much every time we cleaned it, you always started with new litter, and we would clean it probably every 3 weeks. So you're not having to clean this as often. Now, if your cat has any bladder issues or something like that, or diarrhea, it may frequently. But typically what will get dirty quickest will be the grill. But other than that, it definitely we have noticed it lasts a lot longer. So once it kind of spins over, I'll kind of open the drawer. So the drawer down here is where all the waste goes. And as you can see, it's quite a large amount. Now, Litter-Robot does sell bags that you can get to put in here. But for the cost, we end up just using kind of kitchen bags. Now, you can't get the small 10-gallon ones because they just can't span this square distance. But just the standard old kitchen trash bag does work really, really well. It holds a lot. And then, as you can see, we kind of store our scoop here in case we ever need to push things around. And then here in the front is a grill. There's a carbon filter, so you can kind of wash that off and clean that every once in a while. And it helps with the odors. The odor is probably a biggest thing that we've noticed with this litter box. You do smell it, obviously, when it runs because it opens a hole there. But other than that, we go about once a week to where we have to empty it, which is a lot longer than all my other devices that I've ever tried. And you don't really smell it until about a week. If this thing is full, then you start smelling it. But this carbon filter in the ceiling of this does a really good job keeping those odors in, which kind of surprised me. Now, my only complaint with the litter part is because of the way it rotates and dumps, it has a tendency to dump all the waste right here on this side and not really use this side. So after about, I would say, halfway through the week, sometimes we have to kind of shake this and kind of get that waste evenly distributed, and it will extend the time that using it. But then this just kind of slides on in. Now, if you have a senior cat, they do make a step version that puts a longer kind of ramp up here, which we've noticed this little kind of scatter catch here doesn't really do much. It catches maybe a little bit, but because as you can see, there's not very much. My cat never actually steps on this. He jumps straight out. So I do recommend that you pick up something like, which we have is like this. You can pick this up pretty cheap on Amazon, and it's a nice big surface that will catch it. And then it's kind of like a pocket, so it's easy to dump out. So this does a great job catching the litter. Now, maybe if you had the ramp version, that would help a little bit, but I've noticed this just really doesn't do very much, and it's just because it's so far in for the cat. So overall, odor control has been really, really well. It's been done really great. The scatter, not really impressed with that, but there's other economical options over there to collect that. Now, I do recommend, this is a Connect version. So it connects via your Wi-Fi, and it connects to an app on your phone. And I do recommend the Connect version after having this. And the reason I recommend that is it notifies you when the drawer is full. And like I said, for us, we get about a week. Probably could push that if we wanted to, but you can easily quickly forget when it's full or when it gets kind of stacked on the side. So it's nice to have that notification ping your phone. Otherwise, we don't really use the app. We really just use the app to tell us when it's full. Now, if you don't want to spend extra money for the Connect, this light, the ready light, will start blinking if it's full, and then it won't cycle through. So you kind of, if you keep an eye on your litter box, it does notify you when it's full. It's just, you know, you have to make a mental note to constantly check it. Now, as far as the controls go, they're all right here on the panel. You have the power button to turn it on. The cycle button will go ahead and run it. So if you see loose litter or loose waste in there or something that just didn't get in the first cycle, you can hit that cycle button and it'll go ahead and do the full rotation and then rotate back and get ready. Now, if you're wanting to deep clean it, you can hit or just empty all the litter and get fresh. You hit the empty button and it's going to rotate and it's going to dump that litter. Now, we've noticed that sometimes some of the litter still gets stuck up here in the plastic pieces. So we had to do that a couple times to just get all that litter out of it. But once again, it's really easy of hitting a button. Now, the reset button will sometimes highlight if you open the drawer and you change it out, you always need to hit the reset button, or if you slide it around and get in position, because it messes up the sensors. So you want to be sure to hit that reset button. And then there's modes down here where you can set up with the timing, the cycling, and then it'll kind of let you know when it's ready. So you got lots of little controls right here on the device. And if you need more information there, all explained in the manuals. Also, feel free to hit me up in the comments section if you have any questions. But yeah, so overall, we've been very impressed with it. Like I said, one of the things that kind of shied me away at the beginning was simply its size. I mean, it does take up a lot of room here. But like I said, they make furniture that you can hide it in. Or if you have like a utility room, then maybe it's not a big deal. But it is kind of a big device, so it definitely stands out. And it is got a higher price point. But honestly, you're going to get what you pay for. The Litter-Robot is definitely one of the more expensive devices, but it, especially just from my viewers have told me, it does last a long time. We haven't had any issues with it so far, and it's been a lot lower maintenance compared to our other automatic litter boxes. I can say we have definitely not using as much litter just because of the way it rakes, and you can keep that litter longer. You're not doing as often doing dumps. So that is saving us a lot of money on the litter front alone. Now, if you're kind of curious, it does take a lot of any of the clay-based litters. I would kind of stay away from more of the other ones just because of the way the mechanics work. So really you want to stay with the clay-based. Now, Litter-Robot also sells their own litter, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to buy them. We end up buying the litter that we like is by a company called Lucy Pet. And I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. This and the little scatter thing, they'll take you to Amazon. But we like this litter. It works really well. It doesn't have an odor to it, but they also sell a scented one. But yeah, so that's basically the ins and outs of the device. On the back here, it just has a simple little plug that you just kind of plug in and it goes to town. I'll go ahead and put that in. You'll hear it doing its cycling here once it logs on. And I'll also say cleaning. I'll kind of show some footage of that here of cleaning the device. It's really easy to clean. It was really easy to take apart and just hose down. The biggest thing with the cleaning is you have to wait, because of this rubber material, you have to wait for it fully dry. So just plan for kind of like a more all-day event. Cleaning will take maybe no more than an hour, but you're going to need a couple hours for the device to fully kind of completely dry, because you don't want any water in that envelope of the bladder. Otherwise you're going to get clumpy litter and it's going to be a problem. But yeah, that's basically it. There's even a light in here that will kind of light up for your cat in the night. One other thing I did want to mention when it comes to the litter. So there is a kind of line in there where you're supposed to fill your litter up to. One of my other complaints with this is it's kind of hard to see that line. I wish there was like a white kind of line that made it a little bit more contrast and seen. But if you're kind of figuring, well, where do I fill up the litter to? There is a slight raised bump around the edge, so just kind of get a flashlight or something in there and look for that level. But yeah, so that's basically it. Hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, hit me up in the comments if you have any questions. I am going to put a link to Litter-Robot's website. I did sign up for the referral program, so it'll save you 25 bucks, and then usually I think they give me a little bit of a kickback if you end up buying it. So maybe that'll be helpful for you. I'll also include a link in the description for the litter that I personally like, and like what I said, that extra pad. And until the next video, you guys take it easy. Later. Congrats! You made it to the end of the video. Help this little guy out by clicking that logo and subscribing to the channel. And then, of course, feel free to check out the recommended video, and then like and share, of course, the video you just watched. Till the next one, you guys take it easy.